Joining us now to discuss is Ben Gagnon, Chief Mining Officer at Toronto-based Bitcoin miner Bitfarms. Hey there, Ben. Thanks for joining us. So there's a lot of investment going on, purchases, acquisitions in the mining space. Bitfarms, I'm wondering, are you similarly expanding? What's your growth strategy going forward amid all this activity?
Yeah, well, we've got a lot of different expansions going on right now. Most recently, we have our 210 megawatt facility that we're building down in Argentina. We've put out some announcements on that recently, is making progress, and that's our biggest expansion by far to date. It's about 7 times bigger than our next largest site. So that's our big one for us right now, and we're continuing to explore new opportunities in the United States, Quebec, and elsewhere.
And I'm really curious about Jack Dorsey's tweets. I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at them, but if Square were to enter the game in mining, would that change the game at all?
I think we're going to see lots of larger tech companies and institutions enter into the mining space over the next couple of years. What we're seeing right now after the China mining ban is a huge resurgence of American manufacturing, but really focused on Bitcoin. We're going to see huge groups come in here and taking advantage of these energy resources and energy infrastructure that was built to power the industrialization of America, and since was exported out to China and other countries. So there's going to be huge investment. There are big opportunities here in North America, and I think with that, you're likely also going to see some North American manufacturers of Bitcoin mining systems emerge as well.
I wanted to break down some of the tweets that Jack had laid out in a thread, and building a Bitcoin mining system based on custom silicon. He said that silicon design is too concentrated into a few companies. This means supply is likely overly constrained. Silicon development is very expensive, requires long-term investment, and is best coupled tightly with software and system design. Why aren't more companies doing this work? Maybe you can kind of dissect this a bit. Do you agree with what he's saying here?
I mean, we definitely could have some more manufacturers of Bitcoin mining equipment, I think, in the industry. Traditionally, this is a really expensive thing to do, to go out there and invest all this money into a chip design that's going to take 6 to 12 months minimum to go from starting point to something that might actually be a working proof of concept. And there's no guarantee on your return on investment. So that's prevented a lot of companies from investing in this mining industry before and really consolidated it within a few players. I think what we'll see over the next couple of years, especially as Bitcoin emerges as a major industry in the United States, is more traditional companies getting into the space. And one of the things that we saw with the silicon shortage last year is that Bitcoin mining has actually surpassed most of the other chip industries like Intel, AMD, Apple, and those others. When they were searching for more silicon capacity at TSMC, they weren't able to take advantage of the new 5 nanometer process level node, but Bitmain was able to do that. They were able to jump from 7 nanometers to 5 nanometers, while Intel, AMD, and the others were still utilizing 7. And that's because we have a simpler product. And there's a direct return on that investment. So we don't have to worry about, as many manufacturing concerns and marketing concerns and everything else. And we've gone from just in 10 years ago, going from computer chips being run in the home to leading the computer chip industry in terms of state-of-the-art, process technologies that are driving the entire chip industry forward. So I think it's a huge, remarkable accomplishment so far, and it's going to continue to have huge disruptions in the space with these chip companies taking more and more prominence.
Well, it's definitely going to be impactful to have big companies entering the fold, but a lot of people also argue that, hey, we want this to be as decentralized as possible. And I'll bring up another tweet from Jack saying that mining isn't accessible to everyone. Bitcoin mining should be as easy as plugging a rig into a power source. There isn't enough incentive today for individuals to overcome the complexity of running a miner for themselves. What are the biggest barriers for people running miners? And Compass Mining has at-home mining. You can plug into a mining pool, but do you see this as something that needs to be focused on as well, that having just more people running at-home miners and being able to create a bigger network that is more decentralized among various entities?
I think decentralization is crucial to Bitcoin's mission. More and more miners plugging in more and more equipment at home, I think, is a positive thing. But there are challenges with doing that, and sound is one, electricity consumption is another, heat is another. And so I think solutions like Compass mining, are going to take a very significant percentage of the market of people who would otherwise be mining at home. It just simplifies everything to go online and sign up on a platform and service and get exposure to the same Bitcoin mining returns. And that's very similar to what the publicly traded Bitcoin mining companies like Bitfarms is doing. We're making it easy for people at home, retail investors, to get access to industrial scale Bitcoin mining exposure without the complexities of securing the hardware, going after the electricity, installing everything, getting the permits, managing the sound, the heat, and the equipment for years on end. So I think we're going to get decentralization of Bitcoin mining through these more complex systems. And this is what we see whenever industries, industrialize and institutionalize, as we see these kind of derivative channels where we're going to see the decentralization take place.